All right, my friends, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming and Tech Reviews. I'm Andrew, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about AMD dropping support for 5000 and 6000 series GPUs. Now, you guys know I'm a major AMD fan, and a lot of the reason why I was or am a major AMD fan is due to the robust support that they offer to their GPUs and to their products. And dropping support for 5000 series, I'm kind of at that, like, okay, I guess that makes sense, you know. But for 6000 series GPUs, that to me it kind of feels like they're trying to scoot away from bringing FSR 4 to 6000 series. It kind of makes me feel like like they would much rather just support 7000 series forward for FSR 4, and I'm kind of annoyed by that. I've got that W Pro up there, that 6800 W Pro, and that is RDNA 2, and I was really looking forward to testing that out when the native support comes out for it. Of course, you know, I mean, I like to stick with the whole native thing. That way I know that I'm getting that experience, you know, that AMD has, you know, the AMD is curated for its products, as opposed to you know, doing like the whole modding thing, because we all know that, like, modding you know, I'm not saying that modding's bad. I'm just saying that I would like to get that full experience from AMD, as opposed to, you know, having to find a different way around that. And the only thing I can think of is FSR 4 might not run well on the lower end RDNA 2 cards, just because they don't have the CUs. Because with RDNA, you need, for all the CUs, you get, that's where you would get your, that's where you'd get that extra power to be able to run, you know, the AI and stuff. So like, this is one of those things where I'm like, I'm a little bit disappointed, to the point where it's like, come on, AMD, these GPUs are as old as the consoles. You know, I think that RDNA 2 should at least be supported throughout the full console generation that they're built upon. You got PlayStation 5, you got Xbox Series S, you got Xbox Series X, that are all running RDNA 2. And for them to drop support for their GPUs, people spent money on these GPUs, and now AMD is basically just going to be like, oh yeah, well, we're not going to support those. We're not going to worry about day one drivers for GPUs that aren't even as old as the consoles that were built during that generation. Like, they legit came out the same year. They all came out in 2020. So I mean, RDNA or RDNA 1, okay, it's prior to the consoles. Okay, that kind of makes sense. Maybe they're like, all right, well, we need certain things to be able to support, like whatever. But for them to cut support for RDNA 2, that to me doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense to me. They need to continue to support RDNA 2. They need to support that throughout the rest of this generation. Like, that to me is like a massive slap in the face to AMD fans that picked up 6000 series GPUs. Those are still incredible pieces of hardware. That 6800 is essentially just under the real 6800 XT, or 6800, yeah, 6800, and that's wild, man. That card is still good. That is a very potent GPU at 1440p. Like, it is still rock freaking solid in a lot of these games, even these newer games that I've been testing on it. It's still a viable option, and for them to not do day one or game, you know, updates for games, that to me is absolutely freaking wild. You're trying to tell me that a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox Series X can run these new games, but you're saying that somebody's 6950 XT can't do that? There's 6900 XT, there's 6800 XT, there's 60. You see where I'm going with this? This is wild. This is wild. They're cutting support for GPUs that aren't even at or even being close to being past their expiration date in terms of the console, because we still got at least a couple more years of this console generation. Yeah, that doesn't make sense, and it doesn't sit well with me. This really does not sit well with me. The AMD would do that. I mean, what are they going to do? Cut 7000 series next generation? Are they 4-year, 5-year GPUs now? Like make it make sense. Make it make sense, AMD. Make it make sense. This doesn't sit well with me, and I think this needs to be rectified immediately. 5700 XT, 57 or RDNA 1, okay. You need to drop support for that for day one games. That makes sense. That makes sense to me. Like it's old enough now to where it's like, okay, but for 6000 series, that RDNA 2, no. These GPUs are still front and center in the console generation. There's that to me doesn't make sense. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. And yeah, like we are gonna bag on AMD for that, because this needs to change immediately. You can't. It doesn't sound feasible to me. It doesn't sound feasible to me at all. Like for these consoles to still be getting games being made for them for at least the next couple of years. AMD needs to still support 6000 series GPUs. They have to. Whether they want to say, look, we're not bringing FSR4 to it, whatever. That's one thing. But for them to just outright not do game support for these GPUs, that doesn't sit right with me. So, all right, my friends, I'll think some more on this and give you some more updates. But as far as it sits right now, like, I'm bewildered. Like, I really don't understand the logic in this. And yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me at all. Like, why? I guess AMD needs to answer the why. Like, why? Why is this? Why is this happening? Like, what is the like, what's the method behind this madness? We need to know, like, seriously. So, all right, guys, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.